Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Voltron Legendary Defender, which we'll be getting into today. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
Jeff Anderson.
Howdy.
And Hayley Nabuurs.
Hello.
Today, Delaney, Jeff, Hayley, and I are back to discuss Voltron Legendary Defender Season 4, this time getting into the season finale, New Defender, Episode 6. We've previously went through the rest of this short, quote-unquote, season here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can find all those discussions at overlyanimated.com or on iTunes if you search for Overly Animated Voltron. We had podcasts on 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, and now we're here just to discuss a New Defender and wrap up the season as a whole. So, spoilers for this whole season. Make sure you've seen all of Season 4, including this very eventful finale. So, let's get right into things here. Delaney, what are your reactions to the end of the season?
I was really into it. Like, I was really excited. I really felt like the stakes. Like, I was kind of like on the edge of my seat the whole time watching. I was like, are they gonna die? No, they're not gonna die, but like, what's gonna happen? And it was really cool. Unfortunately, I had Lotor spoiled for me by our Discord because I get notifications. And like, I wasn't reading it, but like, it popped up on my phone and I was like, darn it. So I had that spoiled for me. Yeah. But I mean, not that was that big of a shock.
Not that big of a spoiler, but yeah, that's
it wasn't a big deal. But it was really like, I really liked this episode. I thought it was really like exciting and like I just wanted to know everything that was happening. I was a little frustrated, like, okay, because like the description so I'm watching on Netflix, obviously, and like the description's like there's like only one member of Team Voltron can do whatever, and I was like, it's Allura. So I'm just waiting the whole episode of like, Allura, do your magic thing, and they didn't like do it the way I thought they were gonna do it, which was nice. At least like she didn't fix the orb, but then she like got them free. Like it was really cool. Like I just liked it a lot, and like it was cool to like, I don't know, like having Hagar be the villain again, and like I don't know, it was just neat. Like it was really fast paced, and I liked that a lot. And like I really like it when like things are actually compelling, and I was actually worried about it because sometimes with shows like this, it's like, oh, they're fine, they're whatever. But even though I know they weren't going to die, I felt like they were going to die, which is important. So it was pretty cool.
Important to think all of your friends are going to die, says yes. Delaney. Yeah. Okay. Got it. No, definitely. Yeah, that's a good description. I think Voltron typically does a pretty good job with like raising the stakes, especially now. Yeah. Jeff, what are your initial thoughts on the finale here?
As usual, the cinematography was just world class, I thought. Just super huge fan of that. The season as a whole, I think, left a lot on the table, like missed potential. If they had just had like 2 or 3 more episodes to build things up, they could have really been incredible. But as it was, it felt a little bit rushed at times, like some undeserved, some emotional moments that were undeserved. So.
Okay. Yeah, definitely something we're going to get into. Everything that was not hit upon this season. Hayley, initial thoughts on this finale?
I enjoyed it. I think it was a good complement to episode 5 before this. I think they paired up quite well, being the same battle and everything. And I think that the action in this episode was really like class A, and all the animation around it and like the colors and the music and everything was really good. And powerful. And I also enjoyed, because I don't love Zarkon as a villain, like he's a good villain, but he's not super compelling. I liked that it was Hagar was the villain, the main villain in this. Mm-hmm. That was interesting. And I love Lotor, and him barging in at the end was really exciting. So I think it was good. Not all the things, if you listen to the last podcast, that I thought was going to happen, this episode happened, but I think maybe my expectations were a little too high. It's only a 22-minute episode, so they can only do so much. But I'm excited for the next season, which I think is a good sign of any finale in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Definitely a lot of excitement for next season. A lot of things that we're going to be interested to see what direction they go. I thought this was a pretty standard Voltron finale, and that's a good thing because I think this show has pretty high quality finales, but it hasn't really had, if you ignore last season's finale, which wasn't really a finale at all, then this is the third kind of finale / mid-season finale we've gotten. And I think all of them have been like great action, suspenseful, potentially nothing super special narratively, but that's okay. As a continuation of the last episode, which I thought was phenomenal, Begin the Blitz, which I like, that was just such an incredible, just a war epic, like the best version of that type of episode the show's done. Super impressive to me. One of the best episodes the show's done, I would say. I think this was like a good
they killed people off. Great.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah, they definitely like felt the stakes raised. Like they really sold like this rebellion, which had seemed pretty low, like importance and just low level. I don't know. Like you knew it was a big deal, but now it's like a real tangible thing. And yeah, that episode really brought it to the forefront. Really enjoyed that one. This is like a good continuation of that. Like I thought this was good. We brought in a lot of interesting elements here. We like resolved it. I don't think it was resolved in like a super exciting way. Obviously the end to this episode is with Lotor helping out.
Lasers
is like it's him. There's a lot of lasers, and Lotor lasers, and it was like interesting on a character level, but not necessarily like this huge moment that you necessarily want to end the season. This episode I would say is the best evidence yet that these are written as 26 episode seasons and not 13, because or 24, I don't remember, but because this is like, if you ignore the Netflix division between season 3 and 4, this is the latter half of those 13 episodes, then this would be the season 3. And if you say that you're 26 episodes long, then this is the mid-season finale for season 2, which I think makes a lot of sense if you look at it like that. Like there's a lot that's still on the table here. And it's not standard fare where we had everything wrapped up. So, I think like just maybe look at it, even if it's not true, look at it as a mid-season finale, and I think it's pretty successful. Overall, this season was pretty impressive, and we're going to get into that. But first, I think some interesting things to get into in A New Defender character-wise. I think probably starting with this Lotor heel turn, kind of. It's not clear how real this is, but Lotor saves the day. He's tuning into that police scanner and is like, oh, guess I should go. There's a giant area with an explosion. Guess I should go there. So that's
gotta go fight my mom.
Yeah, I don't know. He can't know just from that.
No,
he knows.
Yeah, I guess he knows. He just knows everything. Yeah, so
he knows.
He goes there and then he shoots.
Well, he knew that probably if he stayed put, he'd be blown up. Probably.
Yeah.
No, I think he went to the explosion. Like, I think.
Well, he's like, they're not going to be there. If I go to the explosion, nobody's going to be there.
He might have currently been in the explosion radius. I guess he was going towards the ship, which was outside of it. That's true. The impression I got when I was watching it the first time was, he's like, explosion, like, I want to go intervene into whatever's happening. Like,
yeah. And that's what I got as well. I just don't know what his motivation is for that yet. Like, I specifically want to mess up with my mom's plans, or like what?
Like, is he heroic? Like, does he save people?
Right. So this caps off a confusing arc that Lotor has been on these 6 episodes. I think this division has been really unfortunate for the Lotor character arc, this Netflix division, because like he had a super interesting motivations and like stuff with this comet in the first 7 in season 3, and now like nothing happened with that. And nothing seemingly will happen with that. It just based on this arbitrary chunk of 6 episodes we got, it really hurts his character in my opinion. But, like at least we end in kind of this interesting place where he is, betraying, or I mean they already like exiled him, right? So it's not really a betrayal. But he's, blowing up his mom's ship, and then, I don't know how much we've gotten into this on the previous podcast. When you talk about him and whether he knows that Hagar is his mom, seemingly no. And
I don't think he does.
He knows Nerva is his mom,
right.
But he doesn't know Hagar is his mom.
Right.
Hagar didn't even know she was a Nerva like
until
forever.
just now.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
no one really knew that.
I don't think he could know.
Yeah.
I
mean, you get the impression he knows everything, but maybe not this specific thing.
Maybe not.
The fact that he said a Nerva, like,
yeah,
he did say
like
that.
it was no big deal too.
Yeah, I mean, even
and like that whole when she's like made her like when she made her like she looked all tan when she was like checking her face or whatever in her little magic evil mirror or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like she changed back. Like it seems like they've been hiding from the Galran Empire that she's all tan.
Yeah. Also, really unclear how she can just change that, but that wasn't this episode.
She has magic, obviously. It's kind of like in Thor, like how they hit they made how what's her name? Oh my god. Freya, is it Freya? Freya made Loki look the way he does, so he wouldn't figure out he's a frost troll or whatever, the frost giant, whatever he is.
Isn't it also because the Altans can like change their appearance to look like other races? Wasn't that how they explained it?
I thought she was purple because of the poisoning from the...
That also seems to be possible.
So I didn't think that this was the thing she was controlling. Anyway, so yeah, like...
She also could have been changing her face to look like what she used to look like, too. Like, it could have been the other way.
Yeah, but I didn't think she was capable of counteracting a quintessence poisoning. But, okay, so we had our discussion then. So my take... Let me give you my read on Lotor's motivations, then you guys say whether you agree or disagree. My read is that Lotor doesn't particularly care about joining the rebellion / Voltron. This is just like the only play he can make. Like he
doesn't want to die.
Like he's exiled completely from Zarkon, and he has these ambitions he wants to continue. So this is just a teaming up with the opposition can maybe let him pursue these ambitions and maybe help him not to be hunted down by his father. So I think this is just like a selfish kind of power play from him. What do you think?
No, I don't think he doesn't see, like, everything we've seen from him is like he's selfish. Like he just does things to protect himself. Like when he killed what's her name?
Yeah,
it starts with an N.
Nardi. Yeah,
Nardi. Like when he killed her.
Yeah.
Which I'm just glad the cat's not dead. TBH. Like, oh, thank God. Because that's what I cared about, the cat.
Priorities in order. Yeah.
So he that was like to protect himself, and because he knew that's what Hagar was doing, and then. Or I guess he may have just assumed that she betrayed him. He might not know that Hagar was able to do that, but I would assume he does. Like, he kind of had an idea. But, like, he's just selfish. And then he clearly has, like, a plan. Like, I don't get... It's like he has a plan. I don't know what the plan is, but he has a plan. Because, like, I'm still confused. Or, like, okay, you have, like, this little portal dude. What are you doing? Also, how do you not notice? But... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we're on Amon levels of I have a plan.
Yeah, no, we are on Amon levels. He's just totally selfish, and like there's like this isn't a true Zuko. Like he doesn't really. Maybe there'll be a true Zuko later on, but his heart is currently not in the right place. He just doesn't want to die. He's like, save me from my dad, please.
Yeah, he's just like a strategic force, and this is his move.
Right. This makes sense,
and it probably makes sense. But we can use the word like self-interested maybe instead of selfish, because I think other than killing Narti, which really was a bad look for him. Other than that, he's been pretty sympathetic, I would say. And it's not clear.
Well, I mean, you can still have sympathetic characters, I think, who are selfish.
Yeah, but I don't want to paint him in like a truly villainous light. I don't think the show's done that. What do you think of this, Jeff?
It's regardless of whether or not he's truly villainous or not, I enjoy having him not be like 3 steps ahead of everyone anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's made some missteps, as you said, and his generals got the better of him for some time, and so now he's kind of putting himself into a corner, which, has some opportunity for interesting interactions when he can't get everything he wants. He's got to bargain.
Yeah, that would be good, I think, if we knew what he was doing. That's
the missing picture, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's definitely true that we've avoided him just being too stupidly omniscient and powerful. But it's like frustrating that we're abandoning the Comet plan because we still don't really get it. Like, he's harvesting quintessence. Okay, like, and what else? And maybe there wasn't a what else. Maybe just the answer is stupidly quintessence like it is with everything on the show. But, it's, that part is the incomplete picture to me. So yeah, Hayley, do you agree that, he's not suddenly a good guy here?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be a good guy if ever for a while. Like, I think he's going to always have kind of ulterior motives. I think I don't know what his motivations were initially going to the explosion site, because I don't think he heard that Voltron was there, but he was probably like, oh, what's going on? And go see what's up. And then he could use helping them as a means of like bargaining and getting himself into the group. But I want to know why he wanted the comet in the first place and to build these ships, which I think is like a bigger question that will actually reveal his motives, because I don't know if he really wants to be like the king or the emperor like Zarkon is, or if he just wants to be powerful and have fancy ships or something. I can't really tell what he wants to have happen. But he clearly doesn't like his dad, and it seems like Voltron is the best way to, like you guys were saying, like keep him protected and maybe continue with this plan, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah. And Jeff, do you generally agree here?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I don't think this. I think the interesting part though is I don't see Lotor as just evil and incapable of doing good. So I don't think, even if he's acting self-interestedly here, I don't think that precludes him from doing good things as part of the rebellion.
No, he's shown that he does good things and is like not as judgmental like the Galra are.
He's a good actor.
Races. That's another thing, yeah. But didn't we hear when we first got him introduced that like the Galra commanders and everything didn't like him because he was out in the world doing quote unquote good things?
Yeah, we may have heard that. So he may have been doing. He likes planets acting on their own and not super.
That's what it was. Yeah, still under his
right. So the two good things
he doesn't care. Like,
yeah, maybe
he's not that interested in like ruling.
Yeah,
like,
so
that's
another thing. He's not interested in ruling. He likes planets acting independently with still under the Galran reach. But and then last is he associates with half Galran, so he's maybe more open minded. But we've always gotten the impression that everything he does is kind of with an air to other people viewing him. So it is really not clear how much of his actions are what he truly believes and any true goodness in his heart, or if he's just trying to manipulate those around him and people's perception of him. So I think that is, but like I said, I think during our season 3 discussions, it doesn't really matter where it's coming from as long as the end result is good. And I think that's still going to be the case, if he's working with the rebellion. Like he could be a really valuable asset, maybe as a general or something for the rebellion.
But then like Keith doesn't trust him.
Oh yeah,
or,
that's
like,
definitely happening.
Laura doesn't trust him. And like, they're like, I was right all along and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think he just has mommy issues. He just wants to know where his mom is. And that's why he's doing all this, is so he can find his mom. And then Hagar's going to be like, I'm your mother. And then he's going to be like, oh
no. That would be amazing.
Just like Zuko, yes.
Yeah, just like Zuko.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be really neat. I think he really has issues with like having to be in control, kind of. It seems like that, where he does it well. And I think that's part of his whole, it might not be a persona, but kind of the perception that he puts off, where he's the prince, but he's a good prince and everything. And he seems very calculating as well, with like showing that he is on the side of Voltron by saving them all from like the galaxy being blown up. But I don't think he's just going to join the team and be all happy-go-lucky, and I'm just another part of the group.
The white paladin.
Right.
Yeah, the white, he's not going to be, well, maybe, I don't know, we never know. But I think at this point, he's not going to be like, maybe fitting in super seamlessly.
Yeah, and
he'll still have his own motivation.
This episode is called A New Defender. So
which might be him?
Probably referring to him. I don't really know what
I was low-key really afraid that like his ship was gonna like attach to Voltron or something, and then I was gonna like yell for like 10 minutes.
Right. So like,
but it didn't happen.
Like this is Voltron Legendary Defender. He's a new defender. It's not called a new paladin, but the title gives you the impression that he would be something like that. I think it's kind of a mislead. I don't think he's joining the group. Like, I know I put that solution there as like he'll be a general for the rebellion. Like, other than him saying let's talk at the end, his action is prevent the rebellion and and Voltron from being blown up. Like that's why he shoots the ship. That's what he's doing by disrupting Hagar's ritual. And he needs to do that, or else Zarkon would be in full control of the galaxy again, and then would be able to hunt him down. So and
then he can just go hide.
Right. So he needs to prop up the Voltron side of things. Like, it's not even I like them. It's that they need to exist, or else I'm dying soon. Like the only
Exactly.
or Zarkon needs to focus his energy on them and not me. So, like, yes, at the end he says it's time we had a discussion. I think that maybe he'll be like a third party here, maybe working with them on some things. Maybe they strike some sort of deal.
Kind of like Blade of Marmor. Like he'll just like call in, and then Keith or Allure is going to be in the corner going, "I don't like him."
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be surprised if he was, part of the group, and I also think it's going to be interesting how his relationship with his generals maybe.
We have like a team of Zula running around. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, because I assumed that they were going to meet with Voltron and the group of them when they said.
Me too. That's what I thought.
Right? Yeah, that they only have one contact or whatever.
That's gonna be awkward.
Because I don't know. Are they going to? Is that them actually going? They weren't going to Voltron the whole time, or are they going to them and then they'll all get together and it'll be really awkward? Or
That'd be
so.
awesome.
So remind me, why can't they go back to the Galran Empire?
Because they're gonna kill them.
Because they're with Lothar,
because they're just
right?
associated with Lothar. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So and they wouldn't believe them. They're like,
I feel like that's salvageable. I feel like they could, I don't know if that's out of play for them, but
the Galran
I feel like Zarkon would totally blow them up.
Yeah, it's like what would assuming Lothar did send them, like that's a strong possibility. So as a Galran general, I'm gonna just like assume that they're on Lothar's errands and torture them to death.
Yeah, I guess so.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
They're trying to sneak in for information.
We've seen Hagar torture many people, so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that what's happening with them is going to be very interesting. I don't like separating them from Lothar in the fact that with regard to the fact that it gives them like less screen presence. Like I feel like they have less reason to be on screen if they're not with Lothar. I think this is the ideal state. The three of them, maybe Narti comes back to life. I don't know what's up with that, but like they'd be great on their own. I just like, is the story really going to follow them now? I'm not convinced. Which is, I think, is a shame because they're one of the more interesting plot elements that the show's brought on in so long, character elements. So
I want a whole episode on them. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Like episode 2 this season, just with them. Yeah, that'd be good. We'll talk more later when we can do some speculating. We haven't talked about kind of the main concept of this episode, which is Nakazela, this planet, and how Hagar uses her ritual to activate the Altean terraforming on the planet in order to
a lapis orb, if you will.
Right, yeah, definitely thought of lapis. In order to convert it into a bomb and also to spark this energy field which trapped Voltron to the planet.
Yeah.
So
I think it's interesting when you compare the spacing of these columns from the ground to the view from outer space. This planet is like smaller than our moon, basically, unless they're taking shortcuts with the animation. But it does tie into another thing where like Voltron lands in one location and there's whales and everything around him, and then later the generals on the radio say he's taking planet Noxella. Like, you can't do that on a real planet. You gotta like fly around for days, assuming it's a fully staffed installation. So I think this is the size of a moon and not a full scale planet.
Well, it's kind of like taking out, like, in, like, Star Wars, like, taking out whatever the heck that base was called, like, the Death Star 3 or whatever.
Starkiller base?
Yeah, Starkiller base. Like, I feel like that's kind of what it was. Like, they just had, like, their little location.
It could be, like, super underutilized. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems smaller. Not clear how Voltron can just go everywhere at once. Maybe everything was focused kind of in one area.
So they were probably just like the outposts. Like, it doesn't look like they were like citizens of the planet. That was just like where they were.
Yeah, I didn't really get a good sense of the planet's like composition. They just say this planet's name a lot. One of the most named planets on the show, and I didn't really get a sense of what it was. But I'm more interested in like what's going on here. I feel like this is a good Jeff question. What do you think of this concept, Jeff? Like this turning the planet into a bomb, this energy field, converting it from Alteans, terraforming.
What I'm trying to get away from is like technology for technology's sake. Away from the coolness factor. Like, yeah, it's cool. We have these purple force fields and the pillars look cool and the bomb is cool, but why is any of it the way that it is, right? So, it was the Galran plan all along. We're going to make a bomb planet, and we'll just leave it here till we need it. In that case, could it be? I mean, it would be so cool if the Galran Empire was actively encouraging rebellion in this sector of space specifically, and putting down all the rebellion and everything else, but letting it fester here so it can act as a nexus point, and then we just blow it up when we want to. That would be an interesting thing, and I would love to have them do that, but they'd have to be explicit about it.
Yes, I think so. Like, I think that they don't. It's not super explicit in the episode, but like these generals with Hagar, like, this is the worst defeat in 10,000 years for Garnet,
and Hagar's like, I know.
Hagar's like, whatever. So like,
Hagar's like, Bob.
Hagar knows that this is fine. She knows, she 100% knows that they have this bomb on.
And she's the only one who can do it.
And she's the only one who can do it. But whatever. Like, the Zarkon and Hagar's empire is way too based around them being in charge, obviously, and it's like the second Zarkon was gone, like, it started collapsing. Like, they're not good. They're not setting up a good chain of succession. Anyway, I think this was really cathartic to me, the fact that they did this, because it implies to me that the Garan Empire, which it's just this absurd concept, like in Star Wars, of this empire that just controls the entire universe. Like, they are actively fortifying and preparing for every situation by just implanting bombs in many of their planets and like having this force field ready to go, so that like when whatever happens, they're in complete control. Like, this is what they're doing with their time in charge of the universe. Like, that's really, that makes a lot of sense to me. And like, finally, this empire seems like smart. Like, they're actually doing something here. So and
they kept the Altean stuff. Like, it's like they took over and they destroyed the Alteans, but they like held on to like their technology, because we've seen other examples of them like taking advantage of like Altean technology.
Yeah, definitely. And like, Hagar knows that. I guess she knows she has herself and she can control this. But yeah, my impression is that this is one of many planets like this, and that this is like the extent of the power of the Garan Empire.
Well, it's like all those mines too. Like, was it a trap the whole time? Like,
yeah, that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You get the impression that this was somewhat of a trap. I'm not sure if it goes as far as that they were concentrating the rebellion to this specific sector. Like, it's possible.
There's just bomb planets scattered.
Right. It could do. There's more. It's either that, or that they saw it going this way and they're like, whatever. Like, because we're prepared for every eventuality, and this is one of them, and we have this plan.
And like, they don't care. Like. Yeah, like, what's the point? Like, oh, let's just blow up 10 planets. Who cares? We have like 1 million more. We own like the entire universe.
I'm just hope it's not like Hagar's like row beasts. Like, just for fun, Like, oh, let's make a bomb planet just for fun. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just rule of cool. I hope it's not that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to explain it beyond what they did in this episode. For me, it was like enough that it's like, just the Garans are just so prepared for end, so like in charge.
I would need a bit more explicitness before I trust them enough.
I would
actually
definitely like that. I just I don't think the show is going to give that to us. I don't think they've typically done that. But yeah, I think that's interesting. And I also, I like the concept of the Altean terraforming turns the planet into a bomb because of like minerals in the soil. Okay, I get that. What I don't really get is how the energy field relates to that.
It's gravity. It's pressurizing it. It's like shaking up a soda can, because that's how you make a bomb. It's like the pressure and the.
Does it set off something in like the molecules or the atoms of the soil? Is that what is happening?
A nuclear bomb.
Well, think about like a gun. Like, you don't just shoot things. Like, you have to have the spark and the pressure in the chamber. Like, that's how guns work.
So you're saying the energy field is the thing that is doing this. Like, that's the thing that's setting the bomb off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so a fusion bomb, what it does is you've got like a primary ignition that surrounds a deuterium or tritium core, and then the first explosion, the only thing it does is just to compress the core. And once the core is compressed, then fusion starts happening and chain reaction goes away. So that's sort of what this field seems to be. It seems its only job is to compress the hexathermite, whatever, enough so that it can start doing a chain reaction and blow up.
Because the difference between an explosion and fire is that a fire is just fire. Explosions have pressure. So you have to make pressure so it can release it. Because you have to build it all up so it can let go.
Did they need enough pressure to make this happen that was too much to crush them when they got outside of the line? Because that seemed weird to me when they were just able to walk around.
About that too,
I always feel like if it's not enough pressure that they're instantly smushed, the soil is probably not going to implode.
But I think it was focused on they said it was focused on Voltron, and I thought it was because this is dark quintessence versus good quintessence.
I thought it was just because he was heavy.
Sense that it was focused on anyone, but there is a concept of strength to weight ratio. Like, you know how ants can lift like 50 times their weight because they're really small, and I guess that's how Ant-Man functions and is super powerful. So similar thing, Voltron might be immobile, but once you exit and you're human sized, you can move around quite a bit easier.
That's what I assumed is happening. But it still seems like they needed enough pressure that they shouldn't have been able to like run like they were.
I agree. If pressure was increasing linearly, like it doesn't drive with the countdown. You can't be moving around like that, and then in 5 minutes, oh no, it's going to blow up.
Well, I think it wasn't the pressure. It was like it's kind of you also to think so. It's this hexamite or whatever. So it's also kind of like pressure per inch, like of these molecules in the hexamite. And so like it's not that the pressure's increasing. It's just it's getting to the point where the hexamite's ready to blow up.
That's true. Because the pressure is not constant throughout. I'm sure the pressure at the core is probably quite a bit more than the pressure at the surface. So
y'all are learning some physics and chemistry today.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I'm glad that there's like an explanation to this. That's
why I liked it, because it wasn't stupid. Like it made sense. Like I was like, this is actually okay.
It's science.
Everything seemed fine. I could have like used the episode explaining that because the gravity, the energy field seemed like the main threat for a long time here, and there wasn't a moment when it's like, no, the energy field isn't the threat. It's really the bomb. The energy field is just a vehicle for that. They didn't really have that moment. It was confusing. Like I definitely did not understand that from the episode. I assume most people would not have made it. I don't know, but it's like yeah, Jeff.
At first, I was like, oh my gosh, you dummies! Like we got to get out of here. No, we got to stick around here and figure out what these
right. They should have just taken off right in the beginning.
Yeah, it was like
if they had done that, they would have just floated around in space and then get blown up.
Yeah, very true.
So it was, it turned out that it was correct to stay, I guess.
They were dumb enough for their own good.
Yeah. I guess the initial concept of stay to figure it out did hold, was right. So, the
whole time they were like, we're going to fly away so we can stop Hagar. And it's like, y'all just suck. Like,
I don't know. It's a weird sequence. I think a lot of the episode is, Voltron struggling against the energy field. Which had some like cool animation to it. What did we think of those sequences of them just like, I'm being pressed down, I can't move?
I thought they were handy, because especially when he was like just flying up, I thought it didn't look very dramatic, because it looked dramatic, but you didn't really get the sense that they're actually struggling against a ton. Whereas when they go to the in the lion shot, you can see like all the lines and everything. That was an effective animation tactic.
And they just like throw them back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff?
Yeah. I enjoy, I think what I hate, hate's a strong word. I really dislike when Shira's like, we have to give it all we've got and then we can defeat the enemy. And then they just all like, and then save the day, right? So at least with this one, we have some Allura magic going on that changes the equation a little bit.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's still a get out of jail free card, but at least there's something we can work with that.
Yeah, the Allura sequence, it was not clear what she was even doing. I enjoyed that. I guess Lance gave her a pep talk. I don't think that was built up well enough, but
no, I agree. I didn't like it. Like I was like,
I think they're pushing the Allura Lance ship on us really hard. I
don't think that. What are we shipping Allura with the third? We're shipping Allura with the third person now. Like, they're trying to pay off.
I wasn't on that podcast, but we're all shipping Matt and Shiro, right? Like that's what I got out.
Sure.
Okay. I guess. They're paying off the Blue Line thing from last season. Like that's the Lance Allura Blue. Yeah. Anyway. I'm not in love with Allura. Just Altean magicking them out of this, but whatever.
She believed that whole.
I mean, I just want Allura to do things, and it was okay considering that most of the season we just called her Keith, which is irritating. So.
Yep. Yes, did do that. Not a strong stretch of episodes for equally balancing the characters. We'll talk about that. But, and then the other major thing we need to hit on here is Keith, about to sacrifice himself.
This is really funny.
What?
Would that have been effective? If that was an effective tactic, you'd think that people would have figured that out by now and just sent decoy ships to hit the shield. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have
doesn't make
worked.
any sense.
Yeah,
Well, I liked it because, like, it was just, like, one, they will have, like, okay, I really liked Keith this season. And, like, I mean, he was kind of on my nerves, but I was like, no, Keith. And I actually felt bad. I was like, no. And then Lotor showed up, and I was like, this is kind of funny. You look really stupid because you were just going to fly your little plane.
He would have hit it. There would have been a puff of smoke, and he'd be gone. Like, that was...
Yeah, exactly. And they were all like,
he's going to die anyways, so...
Like,
yeah.
That was the best part. You did it, Keith. No, it wasn't me. Yeah, you would have been dead if you did it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
God, so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is like a typical move for the Keith type character. At least, like, the stakes are high enough that, yeah, you need to do something. Obviously, this wouldn't have worked, but they needed something to happen. I don't know.
They could have, like, all formed up and shot their lasers at one point or something, rather than just shooting this one metal ship at the side of it. Like,
yeah.
It was very strange.
This was so we're on the first podcast. We talked about how we thought Keith would. He was like, okay, he's gone from Voltron. Well, he'll recur throughout the season as a Blade of Mummer, and he didn't really do that. He didn't show up again, I think, at all until last episode.
Yeah,
really. I was disappointed we missed any like super secret agent episodes with him.
Yeah,
and we kind of got our fill before that.
Right.
It was just an excuse to get him off the show, I guess.
I'm not clear what's happening there. I think that he's still not back on Voltron for next season. So
yeah, no, it's really confusing.
Yeah,
I feel like he'd stick around to interrogate Lotor.
Oh no, he'd be there to like glower the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have they had a moment where they recognize that they were in the beast's belly from the
so
other
that has
season?
to happen.
Yeah, because that should happen.
I think
if we think that is him.
Lance did have that.
Was that Lance? Oh yeah, it was Lance and Hunk that were there. Never mind. Sorry.
Lance recognized one of them.
Oh, okay.
We had this on, yeah. But yeah. Okay. So let's talk season as a whole and next season now. Where does this there's two ways to evaluate this season overall. I think it's this stretch of 6 episodes and seasons 3 and 4 combined, and try to evaluate them both. And I guess for me, either way, it's kind of the best stretch that the show's had. Like, I think this is probably this half's better than last half. And also, I think this combined season is definitely the strongest of the show. What do you think, Delaney?
I think I agree. Like, so I watched all the episodes today, and I was like, I have to sit and watch Voltron. I have to watch all these episodes, and I love Voltron, I really do, but I was like not looking forward to it. And then I sat down and I couldn't stop watching, and I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. I don't want to get up and go to the bathroom. I want to watch Voltron. So like, I was really into it. Like, this kept me on the edge of my seat. I was actively interested in all the episodes until we got to that awful episode, and we all know which one I'm talking about. And it was awful, and it made me like want to die. The Voltron show, that was horrible. And like, it was physically painful to watch. But like, there were so many of those episodes, like, in the previous, like, seasons. Like, this was just, it was action. It was really interesting. There was a lot of stakes. There was a whole Pidge episode. And I was, like, living for it, obviously. And it was great. And we've just had some really, like, there's just been a lot of interesting stuff. The Lotor stuff's been really interesting. And it was just, there's so much action. There's, like, I don't remember which episodes it's in. There's this scene of, like, Voltron's, like, blows up all the ships. And there's just this Voltron's like backs to you, and there's just like explosions, and you're like, this is so awesome. Like, it's so beautiful and terrifying. And I was like, this is so great. And that was just how I felt the whole time. While I was like, yeah, Voltron. Yeah. And it was just awesome. And I hadn't felt like that in the previous seasons of Voltron. And it was just good. Like, I like the whole coalition speech, and I was like, I'm really getting this. And I really liked, like, Begin the Blitz is such a good episode, and obviously, the best episode ever is Reunion. Obviously,
the Pidge episode, yeah.
Finally got that paper. Like, I got a Pidge alone episode, a whole episode just about Pidge. At last, my dreams have become reality. Matt is back, and Matt is cool, and Matt just fangirled over Pidge the whole time, which is what Pidge deserves. And it was amazing, and I just really, this season had basically everything that I would have wanted from it, except there wasn't enough like Allura focus, and it was just great. And there were milkshakes. I love milkshakes. Like, this just has everything.
That's what you're bringing up, yeah. So the Pidge episode lived up to your expectations.
Yes, one. It lived up to my expectations of I wanted there to be one, and there actually was one. So shook one that they had a Pidge episode, and then I was like, how did I not find out until just now there was a Pidge episode? Like I would have assumed there would have been like a light in the sky from like Dylan being like Delaney.
I was trying not to spoil you. Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Well, I did immediately message Dylan. I was like, Dylan, freaking out about the Pidge episode because obviously that's all I've ever wanted in life.
Yeah,
and I was
if we'd known, we'd have coordinated Delaney on that podcast. But yeah, I did.
Like, oh my god, like obviously, and then like just freaking out, like that we actually got to find Matt. I knew Matt wasn't dead because because Netflix is stupid and it shows you like, oh,
we've covered this. Yeah,
here's this little like tidbit. Oh, they're hugging, and then but I was still about to cry when Pidge is like, I'm like, it's a memorial. Oh God, it's a mausoleum, and then like Pidge reads it, and I'm like, I'm gonna die right here, right now. Like I'm gonna cry, and I'm crying because Pidge is crying. So good.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a great season because Pidge had a Pidge episode, but it was really action packed, and I was on the edge of my seat. And obviously, I really liked it. I've never been this passionate about Voltron ever, so. It was great.
Nice. Good. Thumbs up. Strong hot takes. Not hot takes. Strong, like, positive takes from Delaney there.
Strong Delaney takes.
There you go.
Because you're like, oh, I'm not shocked about these things from Delaney.
No, it's good, though. Jeff, do you agree that strongest run of episodes for the show and strongest season in seasons 3 and 4?
Yeah, I'd say so. There's a lot to like about this in general.
Yeah. Hayley?
Yeah, I think season 3/4 as a whole is definitely the best out of the whole show. I feel like personally I preferred season 3 to season 4 just because the episodes, I think they had a greater sense of like unity and kind of also introducing Lotor and his generals and everything was great and seeing them a bunch. And I love when shows get into backstory and more plotty elements and stuff like that. And I feel like season 3 was really good for that. So I think out of the two, I preferred that, but season 4 was amazing. And I think Reunion was really, really a standout, especially because it's Pidge, which was really awesome.
The best character.
Yeah, and to finally get Matt as well, and to have Pidge not always being like, but my brother, no, my brother, like how we have him, which is good. And this finale with these 2 episodes were really, really good and really exciting for the show.
Yeah. The season 3 works better as a group, but neither of these are supposed to be on their own, so whatever. I think average quality of episode for this 6 would be higher than the previous 7, but that's not even the important question. Combine this with season 3, and this is by far the best season of the show. I think these episodes were very good, and the show continues to trend upwards in overall quality. I think that the unit of Begin the Blitz and a new defender to end it is like underwhelming as a season finale, but like great just as 2 episodes, like as a 2-part episode. I think the highlights from the season, I think the best episode's Reunion, which I would put as number 2 for the show behind The Legend Begins from last season. So that would be my second best episode of the show, so that's great. And then Begin the Blitz next in the season for me, when has an argument for 3rd overall on the show. By the way, Begin the Blitz, incredible episode, incredibly tense, just this war epic exploring all these various things, and then just randomly inserted into the latter half of the episode is a 30-second transformation sequence, and I think it might have been the worst use of a transformation sequence in the history of the world.
Oh. I hate it.
Pretty bad.
They were already
wasn't it?
They were already Voltron, and then they
the second one in the whole season.
It was They didn't.
Yeah, they definitely scaled.
They didn't do the extended one before this, and they're already Voltron. Then they went out, and then they formed back again, and that's when they decided to do it. So first of all, it was a stupid timing on it in terms of they're already Voltron 5 seconds ago. Second of all, it just incredibly destroyed the momentum of this great episode. So.
They have to meet their quota.
I think it's
a production detail. Yeah, it's a production detail thing, but I don't care. It's their decision to insert it there versus elsewhere. But that is honestly, I've ranted about transformation sequences a million times in this podcast, but that
Dylan could write a book about.
No, honestly though, this was the worst I've ever seen in that episode.
It was they kill all the momentum. Yes. It's just okay, now we're watching this again. You have to try to
ignore it and evaluate the episode, but man, that was not good. So
Honestly, when they broke apart, I was like, "Oh no!" So I knew they were gonna get back together, and I was like, "This is gonna suck." Like, I felt it coming. I was like, "Darn it!"
Yeah. So that's.
But oh my gosh, when the first time he shows up on planet's surface, that was incredible.
Oh yeah.
The scale of Voltron, I haven't seen that before in this show.
Yeah.
Well, it's like he's just like on the ship, and you're like, "That's scary." Like you see his face.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, what freaked me out was like when they were showing the pillars, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's so big!" Because like Voltron's so big. I was like, "Oh my god."
It's so cool.
Yeah.
No, I love that. No, I love showing the scale of Voltron because it's easy to forget that Voltron's like actually this giant, absurdly large robot, and like that's what we see it in space. And there's these giant battleships. Like I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, five just incredible all around.
It's just so pretty.
Yeah. I think then third best would probably be this finale and New Defender. Pretty close with episode 1, Code of Honor. Those are both also excellent episodes. Then I'm less of a fan of the Black Site, episode 3, although I think it's still very good. I think that's the one with the milkshake nonsense in it, so I didn't really.
Yeah.
I really like that episode.
Like, I think there's a
I
lot
liked
of
it
good
too.
things in that episode, but then there's like them trying to figure out what a cow is, and I was not into it. But
That was really stupid.
it was just them memeing like, "Oh, we have this inside joke on the show, ha." So anyway, and then there's the Voltron show, which Justin and Hayley were like, "It's good," and
I think it was
fair.
fine. Yeah,
It would have been fine if Corinne didn't talk like that the whole episode.
Yeah,
Oh my
I kind
god.
of hate it.
Insulted.
So-
Yeah, I think it was a good episode in comparison to the rest. It's definitely a filler
It's
episode,
like,
though.
clearly it's the worst of the season, but I
The
respect
best
that.
filler episode if he didn't talk like that. Like it hurts me so bad to listen to. Like I can't do it. Like I hate. That's like the worst.
It's
I hate
pretty
when they do
obnoxious.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's awful. Like if he had just done it for like 30 seconds, he did it the whole episode. And I wanted to just claw my earballs. Like I just wanted to die. I hate that. Like it's the worst. Like they have to do this smarmy, weird Southern accent rock star dude, and I hate it. Like please don't do it. It's awful.
Yeah,
I hate it.
So we got that. You hate it, yeah. So I think it's reasonable that someone might say it's a good episode. I think this is just not a good episode. Like I think it's just bad. So there's that take. It just really doesn't work in the context of these episodes.
Well, it's like the idea of it was really interesting. Like they're doing these shows, and like it was really neat. And then after that, but then it was like the rest of it was like I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And you know what else? Like what all the sort of amazing things we could have done in its place, like more Lotor time or more world building.
There's just so much left hanging. So let's end. By the way, generally agree with my episode ranks. Any major disagreements?
Obviously, Reunion's the best episode ever in the history.
You'd say it's better than Legend Begins. Because I'm saying Reunion's the second best episode of the show overall. Like that's pretty high. Yeah. No, but yeah, Legend Begins is the flashback episode with everything that's happening. Yeah. So
I don't know. It honestly would be hard for me just because like the emotional notes in Reunion.
I think like
not just for me as a person. I mean,
I think
the
when Pidge thinks he's dead in the graveyard, it's one of the high points of the entire show. I do think like
I was like, oh my
I do think
God.
it's hurt by the fact that like she finds him alive very soon after that. It's like there's not a lot of time for that to breathe. So
and that Netflix spoiled us. I wish
we can
they
ignoring the
had
Netflix, like that's outside of their control. But yeah.
But like narratively, like that episode is beautiful. Like we have like these flashbacks, and then they tie in, and then like Pidge remembers the code, and I just loved. Obviously, I love Pidge, and this was like the best episode ever. I do think. I mean, The Legend Begins is also a great episode. Again, they use flashbacks really well. That's also in The Legend Begins.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Reunion might be the best just for all how everything comes together. But The Legend, it's probably close.
Yeah. Well, we'll be debated for our end of the year awards. Voltron only get one. Each show only one representative episode for the episode category. So we'll see what people want to campaign for there.
I'll scream.
But there you go. There is so that I think overall season takes. Let's briefly touch on what's left hanging for next season. I think a major one for me is Lotor and these comets. We have 2 comet ships. He's going to build more. Like
where the heck is the comet? Like, is it still back there?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
What did he do with it? Right, he's on the run. Is it stored in the ship?
Yeah, weren't they going to make 3 ships total? So
They're going to make 5.
Wait, didn't he? And he, I remember when they were leaving the base in whatever episode that was when they were getting attacked. He said, "Load the comet onto my ship."
Yeah.
So he probably has it with him somehow.
Well, he said he said, "You two generals, like you take the 2 comet ships, and we'll load the comet into my ship." That's 3 ships, and only 2 ended up leaving. So,
well, don't they have his big ship? Like that's what I thought they were in.
Yeah.
They have the same. Don't they have the same ships?
Let's assume that Lotor has the comet. Okay, so he's comet and some number of ships. Yeah, I don't know, but what he's doing with that, I think, is my most interesting thing heading in the next season is like Lotor's motivations and actions.
Obviously, no, it's pretty clear he's making an anti-Voltron. Like the ship that he pilots right now is like a pair of legs.
Okay, it's like that was definitely what we were speculating last season. You think that that's reinforced by the season, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I think so, and maybe more powerful too, because it was able to like destroy the shields and everything, just like that.
Yeah,
well, that's true.
I mean, it looks like when he's like zooming around space, like running away from.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has like leg shaped kind of. I don't think that's like clear at all, but I do like think that's like clearly where we're going because like. It's Voltron. We've demonstrated that Voltron is made out of the same comet that he's making these ships out of. So like, put A and B together, and he's making the Dark Voltron.
Yes.
and he's
I'm so ready for that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, but I think it's interesting. Like, who's going to pilot that now that he's separated from his generals? Like, that's probably my second most interesting thing is what's going on with the generals next.
It all merges together, like. It'll just like attach to Voltron. Like they'll have like little pieces on the lions.
I'd like parasitic Voltron ship. I'd like that.
Yes.
Oh.
And then we have the I think what Hagar's like up to, and what Hagar and Zarkon are up to now that Zarkon's awake, and like I guess Zarkon is just too stupid to.
He's like Darth Vader right now.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem to understand what's happening, but Hagar knows. So like, what's she gonna do with this new information about who she is and their history? For now, nothing. That was kind of annoying. I think she should do something about that.
I wonder if she knows that Lotor is her son. Because she doesn't seem to have much love for him. Like, she's actively trying to kill him even after she got her memories back or whatever we figured out might be happening in that scene. Like, I would have thought it'd be interesting if she had, like, subtle things where it could be interpreted as her kind of trying to save him, but not showing that to the public. So she doesn't get caught, but she's like actively trying to murder him.
Well, is she like? What did she do?
Well, didn't she try to? Oh, what did she do? Oh, actually,
well, it seemed like she was just trying to figure out what he's doing. Like,
yeah,
what are you up to?
Yeah, she just kind of sent the cat after. But by sending the cat after him, all the ships came to kill him.
Yeah,
so she didn't. Maybe she had like a safeguard in mind or something, but.
We're missing a very important point of what's going to happen to the cat.
Yeah,
she was also like very, very concerned with the existence of that of his comet ship. She's like, "Oh no!" Like, as if this is the end of the world, right? Not like you evil son of mine.
Yeah. Zarkon is like he's going to use them against us, so we got to kill him. Yeah, she seemed to like kind of understand what this meant, which would make sense if she has memories of her previous quintessence experiments now. So I think,
and like the new quintessence that he's using or whatever, and so she's probably like, "Oh no,"
which we still have no idea how he got that.
Right? Yeah, and like he went to the Diabazol remains, and like Nerva should in theory know about that now, so like they might clash that. So I think all of this are interesting elements at play, and of course the big thing we haven't talked yet is when will the Shiro stuff come to a head. Like clone Shiro, we haven't done anything with that yet. So that's.
I was so ready for her ritual to activate him. Like I was expecting that to happen.
Ritual to activate
right?
Sleeper Cell.
She was like, "Oh no, I've got a secret plan or something," and then that would have been perfect. But
I thought when Hunk was like, "This stuff feels weird," talking about the hexamine, I thought it was like he had little bits of Shiro.
Oh, that
like I thought he had like blown up or something. I don't know.
No, stop.
Scan it and coming back as Shiro.
Denied, no.
It's legit what I thought happened.
But yeah, we all, like in episode 1 we speculated, okay, the finale will be clone Shiro and then he's disqualified from being Black Lions, then Keith has to come back. So yeah, I think these are intertwined. The big two Voltron plot lines are when is Keith going to join back up with them, and what's happening with our current Shiro. So there's, I think, way more. There's an incredible amount of stuff on the table here, and past seasons there was like nothing on the table heading into next time. So
Yeah.
It's good that the show is being more narratively ambitious, and like there's a lot more to speculate about and look forward to now, I would say. Jeff, do you think it's a good thing to have all this hanging into next time?
Don't. I think that, like I say, this season was missing quite a bit. Like, it just feels like an arbitrary cutoff point when we really need a lot more.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense if you look at this as the season 2 mid-season finale. Like, I think it's like, oh, it'll be back in a month, and there's all this stuff hanging, but it's just half of the season. Like, I think that, yeah.
Yeah, but like, it's not going to be back in a month, as far as
right. So my guess on when the show's back, they seem to be coming up with a new 13 every 6 to 8 months. The question is, will it be from August or October? Probably from August. So I'd say January, February, March would be the.
I just really hope they decided that this split season is not worth it. Like, come on. 7 episodes at a time, 6 episodes at a time. That's just so stupid.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It didn't work with these. I think it punished this back half of episodes. Like, I think the first 7 ended up working out, and they didn't really consider what this last 6 would do on its own. I don't mind Netflix dividing up seasons into smaller chunks. They don't have to put the whole season out at once. Is half a season the answer? I don't know, but like at the very least, just don't arbitrarily name it a new season and be more careful with your release times. Like maybe a month after, a few weeks after. Like if you want to do like you would just get 2 releases out of it. Do it like beginning of the month and then the 15th of the month. I don't know. Like that makes sense.
Or just a consistent 1 episode every month.
Right. Like they could do that too. Like, yeah.
Or weekly or
that's
something.
Like I think we're kind of trending that towards with Netflix is like for these shows that produce 12 episodes a year, they just release 1 a month. Like that's an interesting option for them.
There's another show I follow, Star Trek Discovery, which it's a similar, like it's being released on Netflix, but it's also on CBS's All Access thing. And, they're releasing it online, but they're doing it week by week, like it would in a normal show, which I love that because it lets you have a communal viewing experience. I've always said this is what I hated most about the last few seasons of Korra was that, here's all the episodes, enjoy them in whatever order you want.
Yeah. CBS is weighing in on the binge structure now. They've gone online with Star Trek, and like Jeff said, they're just releasing it online once a week. So like I wonder if other places will react to that. Like, will Netflix say, okay, we may want to try that with 1 show? So
I think they
split it in half, so you never know.
Star Trek.
Yeah, like it makes sense with that show. Like there's got to be like a one Netflix show that this might make sense. I think this show might make sense. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll be back whenever the show's back. It's a lot to get into in season quote unquote 5, and we'll see how many episodes it is, and we'll see whatever. So definitely going to be interesting. Final thoughts on the season or things you're looking forward to, Delaney?
Pidge, obviously. More Allura stuff. And I don't know, I'm just excited to see how like Lotor is gonna like tie in. And yeah, I'm just excited. Like I'm not usually like really like I'm actually really excited for like the next season. February, like I'm really excited about it.
Thumbs up, yeah. But we didn't hit on the lack of characters thing briefly. I think it's incredibly noticeable how little Hunk there is in these 13 episods between seasons 3 and 4. Hunk and
Lance even too.
Yeah.
Like
there's one season 3 episode where Lance had a solid B plot, and then other than he didn't have a lot to do these 6. He had slightly more to do in the previous 7, but there was not a lot of Lance. There's 0 Hunk. Pidge didn't have anything to do until the Pidge episode, and other than that, Sheets didn't have anything to do. Allura was under the radar a little bit. Definitely Keith. Keith was very prominent in those first 8 episodes, and then past that had very little to do. And then of course there's Shiro and everything going on with him. So like I think they've like widened their ambitions narratively, and they've lost track of a lot of their characterization. Like Hunk specifically, it's really not clear to me why he exists on the show right now. Like he's not doing anything.
Yeah, he's not even cracking that many jokes either, which has been like his main purpose.
Yeah. Like it's not like the clearest blatant negative on the show because he almost isn't even a factor anymore. Like that's almost worse. Like it's not even a negative because he's just not. What's it a negative for? Like Hunk does not exist. He doesn't exist. So where's the point with losing the points? I don't know. It's not like the show needs to consider keep its characterization in mind. Anyway, Jeff, final thoughts on the season or things looking forward to?
I really can't wait to hear more about the whole Galrin situation. Right now, I think that's more interesting to me than anything going on the good guys' side. I mean, we'll have a bit of intersection now that Lotor's there, but yeah.
Yeah, they've turned it around with the Garns. Yeah, Lotor and Hagar are maybe our two most interesting characters now. It's been great. And even Zarkon. I don't know if Zarkon's redesign, by the way, ridiculous. So
ridiculous, is it good or just ridiculous?
I mean, it works for him. He's a ridiculous character, so it fits, I think. But it's very funny to me. Okay, Hayley, final thoughts here.
I think it's good. I'm excited to see what comes because, like you were saying, I'm definitely really pumped for all the new storylines that are happening coming forward. Unlike with other seasons where it was oh, cool, exciting, but this is there's tangible things that are happening and that are, we hope, going to play off, and theories that could potentially come to fruition, but we'll see. We could all just be spinning all this time and none of it really happens. But yeah, I'm excited because, like I said, I like plotty episodes and backstory kind of episodes. And I think based on this season, we're probably going to get those going forward. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, a lot more to look forward to now next season. I'm very interested to see where all these open threads we've talked about are going. I will say I'm still not really attached to this show. We check in on this. I briefly mentioned it at the end of the last episode every season, but I think they've improved, but they've improved in what they're already doing, and they haven't really tried for the emotional attachment to their characters type of thing that I've been wanting them to do. Give me a reason to really care about these people. The Pidge stuff's on the right track, but it the show still very much feels distant to me a lot of the time. I still think it really needs more heart. I've been very harsh with Voltron in previous seasons. They've improved a lot with season 3 and 4, so we're on the right track. But I still think we need to shift gears a little more. I still think it's a big difference comparing the show to Avatar. Not even in terms of quality, just in terms of fun. I want to have more
and character attachment.
Character attachment. I want to have more fun with the show and I care more about the characters. And I still don't really have a reason to. The show's really not giving me that much in that department and reason to care about these people. So I worry about them scaling up and losing sight of that even more. But at the very least, we're doing what we're trying to do really well. And that is kind of good enough. I mean, I think Voltron's back. After season 2, as it's not even clear to me anymore whether Voltron's in this top tier of animation. It probably was on production values alone, but now it's very much back in the top 5 animated shows on TV. So probably will be on my ballot at the end of the year for top 5 shows. So it's definitely at a strong run this year. Let us know your thoughts on any of the things we talked about here. Yeah, this is it for us, I think, on season 4. Maybe we'll have a wrap-up podcast at some point, but we are very busy with a bunch of other shows right now. Let us know in the comments on overlyanimated.com, on YouTube. And to make sure you don't miss more Voltron podcasts, whenever we come back, you can subscribe to us on YouTube or our Voltron feed on iTunes, Overly Animated Voltron. If you want to keep the discussion going, we do have Discord, as mentioned before. Maybe it will not spoil you because we're done already, but overlyanimated.com/Discord to text chat with us. I think we can probably delete the Voltron spoilers channel now. I want to try to merge it, but I don't know if we can do that. So I don't miss the chat history. Anyway, and consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Steve, aka Frequent Commenter Steve. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, Alex, and Andy. Bunch of stuff upcoming. Well, first of all, thanks to everyone who's been on these Voltron podcasts. Justin for hosting 2 of them, Jeff on a bunch of them, Hayley, Delaney now joining us, so Andy, of course. So thanks everyone for this Voltron coverage. We got it done very fast. Still don't know if it's the right way to cover Netflix shows, but I don't think there really is a right way. But yeah, so stay tuned for Ruby. We have a bunch of current shows, kind of. OKKO, DuckTales, Mysticons, Ladybug coming back at the end of the month, and counting down to Starvember next month. So check all of that out. Overlyanimated.com. Thank you guys very much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
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 See you.